Every long-term relationship I've been in, like after a while, the sex kind of gets boring. But it's still good. But it's like the best kind of boring of all the types of boring. And I've only been in one long-term relationship, but 24. I was telling this to my new girlfriend, and she's older. She's 33 and she lives in Brooklyn, and she's a cook. And she said, well, oh, that also happens to me. Every long relationship I've been in, after a while, the sex isn't as good as the beginning, and it starts to get boring, and inevitably I want to, start sleeping with other people, and then we break up. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I like you, I don't want to break up with you. Why don't we come up with like a list of like things to spice up sex? Like, so that way as soon as sex starts to get boring, we can start doing these things and we don't have to break up. And she's like, oh, that's a great idea, we should do that. What do you want to do? What should we do? And then I was like, you're a cook. Have you ever used food with sex? And then she was like, no, that sounds like a good idea. What kind of food would you want to use? And I was like, I don't know, like whipped cream or sardines. We both love sardines. It's savory. And I was like, or like honey, that's like a typical sex food. And like, she's like, oh yeah, honey's a good idea. Actually, it's beginning to be allergy season. And she's a homeopathic like type person. And she said, Jason, I've heard that local honey is really good for allergies. So if you buy me local honey, I'll lick it off of your dick. That's how I interpret. She didn't actually say that. I actually asked her. This happened last week, and then I asked her yesterday. I told her the story. She's like, I didn't say that. I said I'd lick it off of you, but then my mind turned to you. I thought that meant, because what other sexual way is there to lick it off the body? Well, I guess there's one other good way, but like I don't know if that's a good way. That could be really good also, that other way. So I got really excited, and so we went to sleep together, and the next day I woke up, and the first thing I did before I went to work was I took the subway to the Union Square Farmers Market to buy local honey. And I'm going around looking for local honey, and it's so expensive. Like a little thing of honey, it's like $30. It's nuts. And I was like, this might not even worth it. What if it doesn't even work for allergies? Maybe I should like look it up online to see if this even works. So I looked up on my phone, does local honey help with allergies? And it turns out last year they did a big study, the University of Connecticut did a big study, and it turns out like local honey doesn't help with allergy symptoms at all. Like it's an old wives' tale. It doesn't even help a little bit. So I was like, oh, I'll send this article to my girlfriend and I won't get her the honey. And I thought, oh, you idiot, I'm not going to do that. I want honey to be licked off of my penis. Just ignore that information and just buy the honey. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I have. So I went up to like the guy, and it was like, he had like 5 different, well there was 4 because they ran out of Brooklyn honey. They had like, it said, one sticker said local honey and the next sticker said what borough it's from. So they had like stickers that said Staten Island and Queens, and she's from Brooklyn. But it was the cheapest one, so I got her the Bronx honey and I just peeled off the label. She's not going to know the difference. It's not even going to make a difference because it doesn't even work for allergies. So I got her the Bronx honey. She lives in Brooklyn. And I got so excited, like I started like planning out like how I was going to use it. Like it didn't have like the squeeze tube, but it was like in a glass, but it was like big enough so I could fit and then I thought it would be less messy than like squeezing it on. And then I thought she has like newspaper, we can put newspaper down. I had it all planned out. And I had it, so I went over to her house that night and I had it in my hand. And she opened the door. I was like, hey, look what I lied to her beautiful face. I was like, I got local Brooklyn honey for your allergies. And she's like, oh, wait, you want me to lick that off of you? And I was like, well, yeah, well, you don't want to? And she's like, no, I was joking. I don't want. It's like, oh my God, like I spent so much money. Here, you can just have this as a gift. I'm a nice guy, so I just gave it to her as a gift. So then she put it on her kitchen counter, and it's just sitting there, and it's just like taunting me, and she uses it for tea, and like she uses it for tea in the mornings, and like I sit across from her in like the table, and she takes the honey in the morning for her tea. She uses a spoon, and she like puts it in her tea, and she stirs it around, and then she takes the spoon and she licks the honey off the spoon. It's the first time in my life I've ever been jealous of a spoon. All right, thank you.